Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to the Crack Admission channel. So here we are here to talk about the ISB essays this year. This year is similar to as well as a little different from that of last year's. So before I start, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Arijit. I'm one of the co-founders of Crack Admission, an admission consulting firm, and I've been helping applicants for the last 6 years get into top business schools in the world, including that of ISB. I am an ISB alum. I graduated way back in 2015, and since then have been part of multiple startups, currently run Crack Admission as well as an IoT firm called Enrich AI. Over the next few days, I will be talking about the different essays of the global business schools for the year 2022. To start off with, I will start with my alma mater, which is ISB. The ISB's round 1 deadline is on 4th of September 2022, and the essays are already out, and the essays are a very critical and important aspect of your overall application, right? So without further ado, I would like to start off with, first of all, by telling you that there are 3 different essays this time for ISB applicants who are reapplying, and for the ones who are applying for the first time, there are 2 essays. The second essay is something which is common across the last 4 years. The first essay has changed from that of the last previous years. The first essay this time is all about peer-to-peer learning. To quote unquote, the exact question is ISB's foundation is based on a lot of peer-to-peer learning. That's a building block of ISB. So the school asks you that based on your academic and professional achievements or qualities, capabilities, how would you add value to the peer-to-peer learning of the classroom, right? So what essentially is the school looking for from this question? The school is looking for that how have you added value in any group setting, right? And that group setting can be in your professional work, when you are a team member, in your group assignment. It can be even like when you work voluntarily for any organization, even if you played football, if you're part of a football team, or a robotics team in college, or a cultural event in college, right? Wherever you are part of any team, and how have you added value to that team. It's important to bring in how you've worked with people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, and added value there. So ISB expects that people from multiple backgrounds should be coming to the school, and it's important that they learn from each other, right? Because you're not there only to learn from your professors, you're also there to learn from your cohort, which is the immediate peer group. There'll be people from different backgrounds. Some of them would be engineers, some of them will be non-engineers, some of them will be from the finance background, some of them arts background, humanities background, design background, right? Some of them will have 2 years of experience, some of them will have 20 years of experience, right? So how do you add value to such a diverse cohort? And this should be on the basis of something you've done in the past. So, and since the school categorically mentions that you have to talk about professional as well as personal achievements, it is important that you give stories. What do you mean by stories? Talk about an example where you went to a program, went to your, let's say if you are working with any customer or partner, tell them how your customer or partner was very different in terms of its organizational style, culture, work ethics and stuff from how your own organization was. And how did you intermingle with them? How did you work cohesively with them? How did you seek feedback from them? How did you respond to them? Right? So it's important to show that you were open-minded throughout this period, right? So give a concrete example. This is not English essay, right? So you don't need to write Shakespeare in English and talk about the essay in very generic terms. Rather, you have to be very, very specific about each and every response what you're saying, right? So it is very important to give personalized examples, something which has actually happened with you. Give concrete examples to tell that, hey, this is what happened, this is the situation, this was what was the context, this is how I behaved, this is how I added value to the cohort. For example, somebody might say that, hey, I came from a non-engineering or non-software background, but I was working in a project where there are other software developers. So how did I add value to them? How did I bring in a different perspective? How did I tell them that, hey guys, why are you coding this? This seems to be a very simple exercise. You don't need to write a piece of code for it. right? So this is a completely different perspective to what these developers were earlier used to. If you came from a coding background, right, how do you add value in a business meeting? You could have told in a business meeting that, guys, that if I write a piece of code, this will potentially reduce something or reduce the time required to run a solution or to run a process by a few hours or minutes or a few days, and that's how it will add value to your business or add value to the business, right? So give such examples. When it comes about personal life, if you going back, if you have experiences in your professional life where you have worked in a on-site environment, where you worked in a non-India or or international environment, talk about what are the challenges you faced. Talk about how did you work with that team where probably you had a language barrier, right? Probably like in India, people are expected to work even at late nights, but however in that country, people were strictly working on 8 to 6 kind of a 8 to 5 kind of a timeline. So how did you adjust with them, right? So your adjustment capabilities, how did you collaborate with them, how did you bring the best among the others? It's very important also to show that how can you bring the best among your core team members, your cohort. Right, so that's a professional example. In terms of personal example, and it's very important that in this essay, in the space of 400 words, you give one example which is personal, one example which is professional. So professional example, we give you certain tidbits on how you can articulate a professional example. In terms of personal example, this personal example can be from anywhere. It can be from when you were the president of your cultural event, right? How did you work with your juniors? How did you work with your seniors? It can be where that you were part of any TEDx or organizing committee of your local club, right? So what did you do there? So did you have a lot of conflicts or conflict opinion with people? If yes, how did you encourage them to all participate? It's very important to show that you were the one who's flexible. You cannot be rigid. You should have to show that you are flexible, and you try to bring out the best among others, not only the best within yourself, but the best among others as well. Right? So that's the crux of this essay. And to end, while I said 200 words for each of these examples, I would just take my words back and say like leave out 30 to 40 words just to show how will you add value. This is what at ISB, leveraging some of these experiences which you have in the past, right? So you can tell that, for example, if you come from let's say a chartered accountant background, you can tell that, hey guys, a lot of people at ISB would be, after the program, would be looking to start their own businesses. And while starting their own businesses, they might not have a lot of background around how to work with balance sheets, how to tally balance sheets, how to make cash flow statements and stuff, how to raise capital. And there is where I will come in and I will tell them, explain to them what I have done in the past, and how give them some real life examples, right? So that they can learn from my experience. So that's also important, that you end the essay with saying that how will you keep continuing and keep adding value at the ISB cohort. Give examples from the past to justify that you've done it in the past. Now at the very end off with saying that how will you continue doing this at ISB as well. So guys, that's how you should attempt the first essay. Now coming to the second essay. The second essay is something which is very atypical of ISB, and for that matter, any business schools in the world. The question, quote unquote, says, what are your short and long term goals, career goals, and how would ISB help you reach those goals, right? To answer this question, I have a very mathematical approach. You guys might think that, why is he talking maths here? Guys, there is no maths, but there is a formula. And the formula is x plus y is equal to z. What are x, y, and z? X is all the qualities, the hard skills, the soft skills, the industry knowledge, everything what you have gained so far in your professional career so far, right? List them all down. The best way to do this, take a piece of paper or a notepad or an iPad, wherever you're comfortable, list all those qualities which in you. right? These can be industry knowledge, these can be professional knowledge, it can be international exposure, it can be anything. It can be anything, domain knowledge, you list them all down. It can be even like you knowing a different language. Somebody knows German, so list them all down. So that's what X is. Z is whatever you want to know from, or whatever you want to do after the program, right? Let's say you want to become a management consultant, or you want to become a product manager, or you want to become a program manager, or you want to start up something of your own. So list down all the qualities which you feel that you need to have to become successful in that post-MBA career. So list down all those qualities. And good way, and you might ask me, Arijit, how do I know what skills do I need? If I had known the skills, I would have probably been doing that right now. So okay, guys, knowing the skills and having the skills are two different things. Know what skills are required. You can just research a lot, some primary research, some secondary research, reach out to alums, reach out to people in your network, and figure out what their role entails, or what are the qualities on day-to-day basis they have to do in their work, right? So that's the first step of figuring out what the qualities you require as part of Z. And let's say you are confused. Hey guy, I think I'm good for a product manager, and I'm also good for management consultant. So what should my ideal Z be? So do Z1 and Z2. It's completely okay. X is fixed. X is because what you have done in the past, you can't change that. So X is fixed. For Z, you can have a Z1 and Z2. So essentially you have two equations now. X plus Y is equal to Z1, or X plus Y1 equal to Z1, and X plus Y2 equal to Z2. Now the question is, what are Y and what is Y1 and Y2? So Y1, the formula says Z minus X, or in this case Y1 Z1 minus X1. So essentially Y is all the skill sets which you don't have right now but need as far as your future goals are concerned. So list them all down. So you, in a Venn diagram, you'll figure out that, let's say for example, 50% of what you require as part of Z you already have through X, and 50% is remaining. So what are the skill sets you are required or remaining? And then figure out individual aspects of the ISB program which will allow you those Y or Y1 in this case. So figure out different aspects. So ISB is I say to everyone, it's a grand buffet. You have everything. You have a lot of things. You have clubs, you have extracurricular activities, you have courses, you have life projects, business, B-school competitions, you name it, you have exchange programs, you name it and you have it. However, you have to figure out what among these, what do you require as part of your Y. And your Y is very different from somebody else's Y. It's very different from what was my Y when I joined the program. So it is different. So you have to figure out what is your Y. You have to talk with alums, talk with people who have gone to ISB, go to the website, talk with admission committee members, figure out what the different aspects of ISB, which ISB provides. List them all down and then map it with your Y. Right? For example, if you say that, hey, I want to become a consultant, but I don't know, I have only worked with in coding or software development. So how do I become a management consultant? So for example, a course at ISB called Strategy and Leadership, probably that course is something which will kind of trickle my mind and help me give me some sort of inputs to become a consultant. Then I have like case study competition or the consulting club. Again, these things will be helpful if I become part of a consulting club or take part in a lot of B-school case study competitions. Potentially, I will start priming myself, grooming myself for a potential consulting role. Right? So this is, or let's say somebody wants to transition into product management role. Right? So this guy was doing, let's say, something different, very core industry. Let's say somebody working with a PSU. Now he wants to get into product management. So for him, he has to figure out which concentrations at ISB, what ELP of ISB, what specific aspects of ISB he needs to leverage in order to become a successful product manager. Right? So his why is very different from somebody else's why. Right? And that is what ISB looks for in this particular essay. Again, you cannot be generic. You have to be very specific as to why, what is specifically you looking for from the program. Right? That's about the short-term career goals. And short-term career goals has to be something which is realistic, feasible, practical, for example, and it should not be something which is way out of your league or way out of your reach. For example, if you're working in IT services and suddenly you say, I want to become an front-end investment banker. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Yes. What is the probability? Very low. So again, to be on the safer side, don't mention things which seem very far-fetched, because the school will feel that you haven't done your homework. The school knows that people from ID services directly after the program have not transitioned to investment banking. So why do you even write that? It means that you've not done your homework. You don't know why you are spending whatever 35 lakhs or 38 lakhs of money, of your hard-earned money in the program, if you don't know what you're expecting from it. So be realistic, be feasible, mention something which is realistic, feasible, practical. Good way to look at it, look at the placement stats, talk with alums, talk with current students, talk to admission committee members. Where have people of your background have gone to? That will give you some proxy of where you can also land your career. In terms of long-term career goals, you can be a little abstract here, because long-term, first of all, ISB doesn't mention what does long-term mean. It can be 10 years, it can be 15 years, it can be 20 years, it can be more than 3 decades. So ISB has not mentioned what is exactly is long-term, the duration or the time frame. So you can be a little abstract here. However, don't try to be very abstract, but you can be very little abstract. For example, somebody who's in the short term who wants to become product manager, in the long term, you can say, I want to start a not-for-profit which helps children start learning coding from the very early years of their childhood, right? So are the short term and the long term goals related? On the face of it, no. But if you look at a very bird's eye view or a very high level view, it are like, but they are related somehow, right? Because if you're a product manager, you know how to use technology, you know how to make consumer friendly technology or business friendly technology, and this you'll impart that knowledge to children at a very young age. You know what are the latest tools and technologies available, right? So again, don't be far-fetched. Write something which seems doable, achievable, feasible. But yeah, I mean, if it can be a little abstract, completely okay, right? So these are the first 2 essays, and for everyone who's attempting the ISB PGP application for the first time, these are the only 2 essays which you need to write. For people who have reapplied, or who are reapplying rather, so you need to mention, there's a question which specifically says what has changed in your profile since the last time you applied, right? What all can change in your profile, right? So things what can change in your profile are things probably like you've got a better GMAT score, your goals have become a little more streamlined and you know what exactly your goals are, you've got more leadership experiences, you have transitioned into a new role or a new company and you've done something very different in that company, you've taken up a new assignment in your existing company and done something really good with that assignment, you have taken up a new hobby or a new extracurricular activity or new voluntary engagement or new sport, right? So these are also new things. Again, it's very important to showcase what you have done and also how will you add value to your candidature at ISB. If let's say somebody says that before last time's application, this time I have started playing chess. Okay, so what? Somebody can start playing poker, somebody can start doing something else, learning tabla. What does that mean? If you say that start playing chess and this has helped me calm my mind, made me more methodical in my thinking, and I have tried to look at things every time something comes up, I look at from different scenarios and perspectives. That's where you're telling the admission committee that, hey, what I have this hobby or extracurricular I've taken up in the past, this has added value to my candidature or to my profile. It has helped me in other tangible and intangible aspects. And so this is what you have to write in your reapplicant essay. And don't focus a lot on if you have improved your GMAT score. Just mention that you've improved your GMAT score. Don't stop. I mean, don't rant and talk a lot about how you've improved. Don't tell that, hey, I had a 15-hour or like 12-hour work day. Along with that, I prepared for studies and I did that and I did that. I took so many exams and mocks and blah blah and all that. ISB doesn't care about that. Everybody who's applying to ISB has professional experience. In all likelihood, they were preparing for the exams along with their regular work. So even if you have done it with your regular work, that's not like something to really brag about. And your updated GMAT score will anyways be getting reflected in your application form. Right? So don't repeat information. Yes, if you have got a extra GMAT score, just mention it, but don't make it the highlight of this essay. One last tip is the application form is also very important. So don't keep it to the nth hour. take some time off, because the application form, when you start filling it up, and some of you might have already started filling it up right now, you will see that there are multiple sections. About 60% of the 60-70% of the application form is factual information, which is easy. The rest 30 to 40% talks about stuff which you have to think twice. For example, your hobbies, your awards, your extracurricular positions of responsibility, your job responsibilities, your job achievements. So these are stuff which you have to think before. And again, these have a very strict word limit, or a character limit in this case. So you have to be crisp, articulate, and put in the best pointers, right? So you will have limited space. So put in your best pointers, prioritize what is important, prioritize what is not important. So that's about it, guys. These are 3 essays of ISB. The first round is on 4th of September. I would encourage everyone to submit, or like have your application ready at least 3 or 4 days before the deadline. Don't keep it to the last moment. I know we all like to really work when the deadline is close by. We get that kick. But yeah, for the application, just prepare well in advance for it. Take a good 3 to 4 weeks at least, if not more, to start collate your thoughts, pen down stuff, and then write on it, rewrite on it, take some input from here and there. And most importantly, you don't have to write in Shakespeareish English. Yes, grammar is important. Yes, sentence structure is important. Yes, articulation of content is important. But what is most important is the content should be your own. The content should be very personalized. It should not be a cookie cutter content. It should not be that I'm reading your essay, that somebody else's essay, and it just seems to me, guys, I'm not able to distinguish between person A and person B. Right? So it should not be. It should be very pinpointedly distinguishing aspects about your profile. So with that, I would wish all of you a very successful application. I hope all of you make it to the next stage of the interview process at ISB, and eventually make it as part of the cohort. I wish you all the very best. Reach out to me via Crack Admission if you need any support, any guidance. I'll be happy to help you, like how I have helped a lot of other people like you in similar shoes over the last few years. Wish you all the best, and if you're looking for the next business school essays update, you keep watching our channel, subscribing to it, because it'll come out very shortly. Okay, cheers and all the best. Thank you. Bye bye.